good, huh? Confucius said, man who wants to get married once is a mystery. Man who wants to get married 2 times, that's a bigger mystery. Confucius also say, marriage is like a fleeting circus. Firstly, the engagement ring. Secondly, the wedding ring. And thirdly, the supper ring. Confucius also said...
No, Scott, that's enough. No, you're not hot, Scott. Scott really likes to tell marriage jokes because just recently our bass Dave got married, and well, as a matter of fact, before he got married, he went out and purchased himself a house like 4 months before he got married. And at the time, he was living in an apartment with Scott, and he was on a lease and he couldn't get out of it, so he couldn't live in the house, and he was working full time and he couldn't be out of the house very much. So he decided that he wanted to have a security system set up for the house. So he asked Bob, which he thought was our resident genius, to set up such a system. Well, anyway, he also wanted Scott and I to go out and test the system. So we thought the best way to do that would be to break into the house like a burglar would do. So we did just that. I dressed up Scott like a burglar. got a little burglar hat, you know, burglar mask and a burglar shirt with stripes and burglar tights. Anyway, so Scott broke into the house and he got into the living room and he saw the first thing any burglar would see, which was a Doberman with a parrot on his head. Yeah, I thought so too. Anyway, so Scott just went about like a burglar would do. You know, he started putting stuff in his burglar bag. He was putting it in there, and the dog sat up, and the parrot sat up too. The parrot goes, "Ah, don't do that, don't do that." So Scott freezes, you know, doesn't do anything. And they don't do anything either. So after a little while, he slowly starts to move, and they don't do anything, so he moves into the next room, and he starts putting more stuff in the bag, you know, and the Doberman follows him. And the parrot sits up on its head and goes, "Ah, don't do that, don't do that." Scott freezes again. And they don't do anything. So he slowly starts to move again. He says, "Hey, this is easy." And he goes into the next room, starts putting more stuff in the bag, you know, and the Doberman follows him again, and so does the parrot. The parrot sits up again and says, "Ah, don't do that, don't do that." By this time, Scott's getting pretty sick of this. He says, "You stupid parrot, can't you say anything else?" And the parrot goes, "Sick him."
That's not funny, I used to be a bass.
Old McDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on this farm he had a cow. E-I-E-I-O, with a moo-moo here, and a moo-moo there, here, moo there, moo everywhere, moo. Old McDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old McDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on this farm he had a duck.
"A duck, a bird with feathers and a bill."
Hello, yes.
Scared me. We get on with this thing.
E-I-E-I-O, with a quack quack here, quack quack there, here quack there, quack everywhere, quack quack, moo moo here, moo there, moo here, moo there, moo everywhere, moo moo. Old McDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. Old McDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on this farm he had a turkey. Old McDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. Old McDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on this farm he had a goose.
Don't touch me there, please. My mom's up there.
E-I-E-I-O. And the honk honk here, honk honk there, honk everywhere, honk honk. Old McDonald had a farm. E-I